gallbladder and kidney stones are conditions that have affected more than 6 people in my family or among my relatives. However, I only started taking the issue seriously when a childhood friend of mine who lived nearby, played badminton with me regularly, was perfectly fit by the way, and exercised daily, suddenly suffered such unbearable abdominal pain one night that she had to be rushed to the emergency room. Her family was distraught, and I was there too. Seeing her writhing in agony, I could sense the immense pain she was enduring. At the time, doctors administered painkillers and ordered some tests. When the reports came back, it was revealed that her gallbladder was filled with stones. Not just one or two, but a multitude of tiny ones. She's only 28 years old. The doctor stated bluntly that her gallbladder had to be removed or there would be serious consequences. Left with no other choice, she decided to look beyond allopathy and explore every possible alternative to avoid surgery. She consulted 4 or 5 different doctors, spent nights pleading with ChatGPT for a solution, and eventually tried homeopathy, Ayurveda, and naturopathy. She finally found a potential solution in naturopathy, a liver detox method that promised to save the gallbladder, but that hope was dashed. Her condition deteriorated so rapidly that she had to undergo urgent surgery, and her gallbladder was surgically removed. The simple purpose of the story is to use this platform to explain and raise some awareness about what exactly gallstones are. Where do these stones in the abdomen come from? Which age group is affected? Can this condition be avoided? What diseases might arise if it isn't prevented? How can this be prevented? And finally, is there really no other treatment for gallstones? People might say it's just laparoscopic surgery, it's very easy, you'll be discharged in like one day. But just think about it. An entire organ is being permanently removed from a person's body. As simple as that sounds, the reality is deeply unsettling. You've surely heard someone around you mentioning having surgery on their gallbladder, or Pitt Theli, as it's commonly known. This surgery has become so common today that hundreds of thousands of people have their gallbladders removed every year. In the US alone, over 7 lakh gallbladder surgeries are performed annually. That averages out to one person having their gallbladder removed every 45 seconds. Just think. By the time you watch just 10 minutes of this video, gallbladder surgeries will have been performed on about 13 or 14 people worldwide. But it is worth considering, why is the entire organ removed just for a single stone? When kidney stones can often be expelled via medication, laser treatment, or urine, why isn't the same thing possible for gallbladder stones? The primary reason lies in our body's internal anatomy. The kidney functions as a filtration system where the pressure of urine can push a stone out. However, the bile duct leading from the gallbladder is extremely narrow, only 2 to 4 millimeters wide. Just imagine if a small stone, even 5 or 6 in size, gets stuck there, the entire flow of bile is obstructed. And what follows isn't merely pain, it becomes a severe medical emergency. The patient could develop acute jaundice or a pus-filled gallbladder. Furthermore, if the stone blocks the pancreatic duct, it can trigger acute pancreatitis, a condition that lands the patient in the ICU and can even prove fatal. Most importantly, even if medication were to dissolve the stone, the gallbladder itself has essentially become a defected factory that will keep producing new stones repeatedly. That is why, instead of opting for a partial or incomplete cure, doctors remove the organ entirely. Now let's understand the different types of these stones and how they form. Gallstones are primarily of 2 types. The first is cholesterol stones. These are the most common, accounting for approximately 80 to 85% of cases worldwide. They form when the liver releases excessive cholesterol into the bile and the bile salts are unable to dissolve it. Gradually, this excess cholesterol begins to accumulate, forming tiny crystals that clump together to create a solid stone. The second type is pigment stones, found in 15 to 20% of people. These are dark brown or black in color and form when bilirubin levels in the bile rise suddenly. They are mostly found in individuals with pre-existing liver disease, blood disorder, or recurrent bile duct infections. However, these stones do not form overnight. It is a gradual process. Our liver produces approximately 600 to 1000 ml of a liquid bile daily. which the gallbladder stores and concentrates to 5 to 10 times its original strength. When the chemical balance of the bile is disrupted, stones do not form immediately. Initially, a thick sludge like material accumulates inside the gallbladder, a condition doctors call bile sludge. While the sludge resolves on its own in many people, in cases where it persists, microscopic cholesterol crystals begin to form within it. Over months and years, these crystals clump together to form one or more solid gallstones. The real concern, however, is that if gallstones are not treated in time, they can cause more than just abdominal pain. They can eventually become a leading cause of gallbladder cancer. When a gallstone remains inside the gallbladder for years, it repeatedly rubs against the organ's delicate inner lining. This constant friction and trauma lead to chronic inflammation of the gallbladder, a condition medically known as chronic cholecystitis. As this inflammation and damage persist over years, the body attempts to repair the lining by depositing calcium there. This causes the gallbladder wall to harden until it is as rigid as a stone, a condition called porcelain gallbladder, which is a high risk situation because the likelihood of cancer increases significantly at this stage. Amidst this continuous cycle of damage and repair, the DNA within the gallbladder cells begins to mutate. Normal cells start growing abnormally, a condition known as gallbladder dysplasia. This is the final warning stage just before the onset of cancer. If it is ignored at this point, these abnormal cells begin to multiply uncontrollably and develop into gallbladder cancer. The most alarming aspect is that symptoms of gallbladder cancer are not noticeable. In the early stages, by the time a person experiences pain or discomfort, the cancer has already spread to the liver and surrounding organs. And when you research this, you'll be surprised to learn that the prevalence of gallstones and gallbladder cancer is not uniform across India. In parts of Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, West Bengal, Assam, and Rajasthan, the incidence of gallstone is 3 to 7 times higher compared to South India. Medical researchers and doctors refer to this entire region as the gallstone belt of India. Why is this happening specifically to people living along the banks of Ganges and near the Aravalli range? When scientists investigated this mystery, they identified three major causes. The primary suspect is our groundwater. In the Gangetic plains and several areas of Rajasthan, groundwater has been found to contain toxic heavy metals such as arsenic, cadmium, lead, and fluoride at levels far exceeding safe limits. Consuming this water over years disrupts the chemical composition of bile and the liver, leading to the rapid formation of bile sludge and crystals. The second major suspect is typhoid. These regions have historically seen a high incidence of typhoid cases. Even after the Salmonella typhi infection clears up, the bacteria can remain hidden inside the gallbladder for years, forming a thin layer. This bacteria continuously irritates the gallbladder lining, causing chronic inflammation and significantly increasing the risk of both gallstones and cancer. The third factor is our diet and lifestyle, eventually. Factors such as the consumption of adulterated mustard oil, refined carbohydrates, and sedentary lifestyle have completely disrupted the balance of bile. So, the big question now is, can this disease be prevented? What are the ways to do so? Granted, we do not have complete control over genetics and pollution, but by making some necessary changes to our daily lives, we can significantly reduce this risk. First of all, completely give up crash dieting and habits that lead to rapid weight loss. When you drastically cut down on food intake or fast for extended periods, the gallbladder doesn't get the chance to contract. The bile inside begins to thicken and eventually turns into stones. Weight loss should always be achieved slowly and gradually. Secondly, reduce refined flour, sugary drinks, and processed foods in your diet and make room for high fiber foods instead. Foods like chickpeas, oats, green vegetables, fruits, and whole grains help balance bile salts and flush excess cholesterol out of the body. Thirdly, do not eliminate fat from your diet entirely. Small amounts of healthy fats, such as those found in nuts, seeds, and ghee, are essential to ensure the gallbladder contracts regularly and bile continues to flow out. Fourth, if you live in a region prone to heavy metal contamination, such as parts of UP, Bihar, or Rajasthan, always drink properly filtered or RO water to prevent these metals from reaching your liver and bile. And finally, regarding the current trend of using GLP-1 injections and rapid weight loss pills, never use them without consulting a doctor, as they can slow down bile movement and accelerate the formation of gallstones. Now, let me tell you what happens if your gallbladder is removed. Even after the gallbladder is removed, the liver continues to produce bile and a person can return to a completely normal lifestyle within a few weeks. However, the most important takeaway is this. Never make the mistake of dismissing pain in the upper right side of your abdomen as mere gas or acidity and trying to suppress it with remedies like Eno or Pudin Hara. If you experience this pain repeatedly after a heavy meal, go straight to a doctor and get a simple ultrasound done. A small decision made at the right time can save you from a major emergency or serious complications. That's it for the day. I hope you liked the video, and if you did, do hit the like button and share this video, and also don't forget to subscribe our channel. Let's meet in another video. Until then, stay strong, stay safe, and keep missing Ensign Medical.